I think people still don't know that HPV infection can cause cancer in men. It was a little over a decade ago where we just realized this phenomenon that HPV can cause head and neck cancer, which is more common in men than in women. And so without the knowledge out there that HPV infection can cause cancer, I don't think parents are realizing that by facilitating the administration of this vaccine, they're actually protecting their children, both girls and boys, from potentially developing cancer. Yes, absolutely. Boys should be receiving this vaccine, especially since we don't know right now which child's going to be able to clear the infection and which child isn't. And so it's almost a gamble if you're engaging in sexual activity without protection, because it's estimated that 75% of all sexually active men and women will be exposed to HPV infection at one point in their lives. The Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices recommended it for boys based on a study which vaccinated both boys and girls, and they found that the vaccine was effective in protecting boys from developing HPV-related genital lesions. And based on that study, the Committee on Immunization Practices recommended it for boys. They actually did a study in which they had two groups of boys and men. One group that they knew had never been exposed to HPV, and one group where they didn't know whether the patient was exposed or not. And they vaccinated both groups, and they found that the quadrivalent HPV vaccine was effective in 90% of cases in preventing HPV-related genital lesions in those boys and men who had never been exposed to HPV. In the group that they didn't know whether the boy or man was exposed, the vaccine was 60% effective. So we do know that the vaccine is meant to prevent HPV infection, and that's when it's most effective. And so if the boy has been exposed to HPV, known to be exposed to HPV, then we know that the vaccine's not going to be as effective.